I see the combination quite often in real life where there's an overweight woman with like a really skinny guy. And I've even heard some skinny guys like saying they love their woman like that. Like, do you think that there is just a select like kind of niche of men that do really like this look and they're into it? Or no? You think it's a total lie?
I think it's a cope.
Welcome to the Emily Todd Podcast. Before we get started, please like and comment on the video as it does really help with the YouTube algorithm.
There's certain kind of this expectation, at least on social media anyways.
Yeah.
It's kind of female empowerment, but to the degree where it's delusional.
It's female empowerment and like body positivity, which I mean, I can't stand for that completely because honestly, with my history in the medical field, like it's just to a degree that is unhealthy and you set yourself up for so many risks and it's such a financial burden too on the country. So multiple reasons why I don't think that should necessarily be pushed forward, but I do think that's a lot of the reason. If you go to somebody's Instagram who is overweight and she's popular, you know, and she's getting a lot of likes and comments, if you go into the comments section, it is mostly all women that are pumping her up. And that feeds into it, right?
Yes.
And I almost think that like men don't do this to men.
No.
And I really think that like women that receive this kind of feedback, like even though it's from other women, you know, even if she is straight, she still kind of receives that and it does boost her confidence.
Yes. Artificially, though.
Artificially, yeah.
Because I'm guessing, too, that it's other women who are kind of probably struggling with the same issues, or they won't see it as struggling. But as far as body positivity, that are kind of saying this to each other.
Yeah.
And so that's what I think is interesting, is that is one thing to transition to saying, okay, like if somebody is obese, okay, I'm not going to shame you for that. Because part of that is genetics, part of that's lifestyle, and that's something that can be worked on.
Right.
And so, and shaming people about their lot in life is never a healthy thing. But the difference is that shame is way gone from this equation now, and it's gotten to the point of saying it's great, it's positive, it's you know it's healthy, and it's also attractive, which is a lie. It really is.
I know. I want to get your opinion on this because I see the combination quite often in real life where there's an overweight woman with like a really skinny guy. And I've even heard some skinny guys like saying they love their woman like that. Like, do you think that there is just a select like kind of niche of men that do really like this look and they're into it? Or no? You think it's a total lie?
I think it's a cope.
You think so?
I think it's guys getting what they can get.
Yeah.
But ideally, and again, we're not talking about somebody who might have, 5, 10, 20 pounds to lose to get to a healthy weight. I'm referring to somebody who would be considered medically obese.
Right.
And what I guess my point is that maybe there's this tiny percentage of men that would find that attractive because it's almost a fetish. But as far as you're generalizing men, most men are not attracted to obese women. If you see a guy with an obese woman, most likely it's because of the fact that it's his only option and he's probably hoping that he can get her to lose weight.
Right. And then she'll become his ideal woman at that point.
But you know what the irony is, and another double standard, is that women, generally speaking, are not attracted and are open about this to guys who are overweight.
Right. Right. I've heard that too. Like, from women that are actually overweight themselves, they don't want a man her size.
Yes.
Yeah, which, again, double standard.
Yes. And, I think that guys struggling with their weight, that shouldn't be shamed. But it's something that I think most guys see that as an issue and are trying to resolve that in some manner. versus I think women nowadays, it's more kind of that just acceptance of that and that I'm beautiful at any size.
Absolutely.
Where you don't see guys saying, I'm really good looking at 400 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it takes away some of that natural motivation for a woman to stay fit, right? Because I think that there are a couple reasons why women want to stay fit. And one of that is looks, right? It's more of a superficial reason. But then there's also health.
Sure.
But I think that the health is like a deeper level of commitment. And I think a lot of women, especially at a young age, like it's purely they are in the gym because they want a certain look, you know, and especially if they're dating right now.
But I think there's also a group of women that are able to attract men at that unhealthy weight, and there's no motivation for them to get fit because of that, because they don't need to do that. And we saw that study that showed too that within that demographic of, I think it was 18 to 30-year-olds, that women, I think it was in the UK, are twice as overweight as men for that age demographic. So, but to me, that shows that there's kind of this lack of effort going on with women compared to men.
Yes. And I don't know exactly what they term as overweight, especially in the study, because I think that there is a certain level in a spectrum, of where there's just more curves on a woman. Sure. And I get that. Like I get them even potentially wanting that look because I would say that fashion and certain styles definitely kind of are good for that right now, that kind of body shape.
Yes.
But like typically it's more of a like muscular, like she's doing squats and lunges at the gym
yes.
to get some glutes.
Yes. But that's mostly muscle.
Yes.
And they're looking to kind of get that hourglass shape because that's, generally what's kind of attractive to men is not, kind of being rail thin, but it's not, I think there's a difference between, you see this on dating apps, like curvy.
Yes.
Sometimes women consider themselves curvy when what I would consider curvy is that hourglass shape.
Yes.
And you could be bigger and be curvy, but it's one of those things where I think when you're just obese, that's not curvy anymore.
Right. And I think that they can wear certain things even when they are obese to like make it look like it's their curves. And they are probably the ones that are putting curvy into, their bio. But plus size. I mean, even plus size models out there, they are not obese.
Yes.
They're really only typically, I think, like 20 or 30 pounds overweight.
Yeah.
They're not like.
No, what was interesting is that I was in Target the other day, and they have plus size mannequins for women, but they do not have them for men.
See?
So if you go to the men's section, it's either guys who are kind of jacked, have the V-taper, or that are thin. And all the models, the same thing. But if you looked at the women, they were all kind of shapes and sizes. So we're getting a lot of this messaging from even that's subliminal from places like Target. And I'm a pretty perceptive person, so I'm picking up on this, but a lot of people may not. But it wasn't, again, it was that double standard where they weren't showing like a big guy who was a mannequin.
Yeah. So I think that speaks to culture right now.